2013 was quite a year for Vladimir Putin. He was named the most powerful man in the world by Forbes magazine. He was named the International Person of the Year by the London Times, and the third most admired person in the world after Bill Gates and Barack Obama. That's pretty good. And then I was going to mention the trifecta of Snowden, Syria, and Sochi, but Joanne beat me to it, but I'll mention them again. And they, I think, represent three facets of the relationship and why it has been so difficult to craft a productive relationship with Russia. So Snowden obviously represents really the nadir of the bilateral U.S.-Russian relationship since President Putin came to power. Even though the White House implored the Kremlin not to grant Snowden political asylum in Russia, it did. And this has been a major cause of problem, of a breach really in the relationship. So the bilateral relationship at the moment is really under strain. And then came Syria. And that, of course, is an example of a multilateral issue where we are working with the Russians. We're cooperating with them. They took the initiative because of our own, I would say, dithering, and introduced the process by which we're disarming Syria of its chemical weapons. And we're working quite well with them. And Sochi, again, represents this mixed, complicated relationship. Our athletes are going to compete, as they should. We'll be competing with Russian athletes. And we are working with the Russians on counterterrorism. We have been really since 9/11 and before. But it's difficult to cooperate with them on some of these issues at Sochi now because they feel that, they think it's very important for them to protect some of the information that they don't want to share with us. So we work with them on these issues, but it's complicated. Now, what you also see, at least in the last 6 months, is a visible wariness in the U.S. of Russia. Last August, after the White House announced that it had canceled the summit between Presidents Obama and Putin, President Obama called for a pause in U.S.-Russian relations. And he said to reassess where it is that Russia's going and what our interests are. And then he said of Putin, obviously, again, as a result of what happened with Snowden, he's got that kind of slouch, looking like a bored kid in the back of the classroom. Now, needless to say, the Kremlin took some offense to what President Obama had said, and it was left to the Foreign Minister Lavrov to say, oh, we're mature adults. Because I would say, we can come back to that, probably the most productive personal relationship in the U.S.-Russian relationship now is between Secretary Kerry and Foreign Minister Lavrov. Anyway, and as you know, no high U.S. official is going to attend the opening ceremony of the Sochi Olympics. Neither are any high-level European officials that I know of. And there are two reasons for that. And one of them is granting political asylum to Edward Snowden. And the other one, of course, is Russia's legislation penalizing the LGBT community. But Secretary Kerry and Secretary Lavrov are meeting constantly particularly on the Syria issue, on the Iran issue. But relations have definitely soured, and I would say it's really since 2010, because the height of that relationship, and I have a photo of it in my book, was when President Medvedev, remember him, visited the United States, and President Obama took him to his favorite eatery, Ray's Hellburgers, a wonderful gourmet hamburger joint in Arlington, Virginia, which has now closed. Anyway, so this is a difficult and a complex relationship.